I do want to address yesterday Iowa starting cornerback or projected starting cornerback Jermari Harris was arrested. The news actually broke yesterday. It was from Sunday morning. He was pulled over for not having his lights on, according to the criminal complaint. He was obviously he was possessing some actions that would tell you that he'd been drinking. I'll just say that. I know I don't want to misquote the criminal complaint, but basically he smelled of alcohol and he was slurring his speech, etc. So he was taken in. His for the record, his BRAC was not a lot higher. It was not crazy out the roof. But you drink and drive, Mark, as you know, you're doing something stupid. I mean, you're taking a stupid risk. And not only you're risking legal ramifications, you're risking somebody else's life, possibly your own life, or whoever else is in the car with you. So it was a dumb mistake on Jermari Harris's part. He's not going to get kicked off the team for OWI. Okay. I did a video on this yesterday after the news broke. Actually, I posted it today, but recorded yesterday because Jermari Harris, he's been this is his fourth year here. He's not a young guy anymore. Now, that doesn't mean you can't make a mistake at 21. That's not what I'm saying. But, you kind of perceive him as a young guy because last year was really his first choice, or his first chance. But this is his fourth year. I don't think he'll play this Saturday during the open practice. But a lot of people were kind of reactionary with their judgment on Jermari Harris. Well, he's going to be out for a game. Maybe he will be. Maybe he'll be out the game against South Dakota State. But it's interesting. I kind of ran through on my video earlier today kind of the history of Kirk Ferentz and suspending players and disciplinary action. And yes, there have been players that have gotten OWIs in the summer or in the fall, and they get a one-game suspension. But those are OWIs that take place in the summer and the fall. I'll give you a perfect example. Last year, you probably remember Iowa tight end Josiah Mieman was charged with interference with official acts. He was running from police. He was getting into a fight at the bar. I mean, it was just a total mess. PR nightmare, right, for your tight end. And he never missed a game. Now, he may not have played, but he was not formally suspended. He missed, I think, a week of spring practice, and he was back in spring practice. Now, that happened about the same time last year. He was April 13th, 2021. And so he was back on the field pretty quickly. And I'm not saying that, that Ferentz is not consistent, but not every situation is created equal. And who's to say that a suspension in the spring, for instance, this open practice Saturday, if he has to sit out and his parents are supposed to come in to see him, that is discipline. that's not, that stinks. Should he miss this week, including the open practice and a game? That's up for Kirk Ferentz to decide, but I wouldn't assume that it's going to be a one-game absence for Jermari Harris just because of when this took place.
So I think we can all ask for the one word that you just mentioned, and that's consistency. Because when it comes to discipline, I don't have the perfect answer, and I don't believe anybody out there has the perfect answer for this act equals this discipline, and that everybody can agree on it, and that's exactly gospel truth of what should happen to this particular player who did X, Y, or Z, that it should equal this. But it's a 23-year program under Kirk Ferentz, and I believe that there should be a level of consistency, whatever that is. And you can always argue whether the timing of the incident should be related to the discipline, meaning if you do something in January, well, there's not going to be a game played for 9 months. So do you discipline them immediately and it does not affect the next season versus obviously if it's game week, then it's going to affect playing time? Or do you just say, regardless of at what point in the calendar you commit this type of behavior, you're going to miss a game?
Yeah, I think that's perfect. I mean, you're sitting in a situation now with TJ Hall, who's going to get more playing time this Saturday in the open practice, or get more run. I know it's not a formal game, and Riley Moss. Those two guys are going to get a lot of time. And if Terry Roberts is healthy, he'll play as well. I don't have a problem if he doesn't get suspended for a game, and it's got nothing to do with me dismissing the charge. But as you just alluded to, there's just so much time before game one. Not everything's black and white that it has to be a game suspension. We as fans, some fans, that's all they care about, right? They just care about the game. They don't follow all the spring stuff, Mark. But there is more involved than just the 12 games in a year. So we'll see. It's unfortunate. I'm sure Jermari Harris is ashamed, and as he should be. But at the same time, you're not going to cancel him. You're not going to, dismiss him because he made a mistake. And you hope he learns from it. I have no doubt that he will. Brandon Snyder, really good safety at Iowa, who later transferred. He had an OWI. Amir Smith-Marset had an OWI. Tristan Wirfs had an OWI. Alaric Jackson got suspended for violation of team, rules. Guys make mistakes, especially when you're in college, right, Mark? Is that true? Did you ever make a mistake when you were at Kent State?
Making all sorts of mistakes every day. Not that I'm out driving while intoxicated, but yes, making mistakes. And the last two players that you mentioned, obviously, were able to overcome those challenges and correct their ways and are tremendous NFL players.